Hello, this is MemeAnalysis, and today we're going to be talking about witches, about modern witches and Puriteens, which are puritanical teenagers. Now, you might be thinking that e-girl witches who are trying to kill Allah and to use reality-shifting methods are absolutely ridiculous nonsense. Well, some of it is absolutely ridiculous nonsense, but I also believe that they are on the right path, which is to say, the path to legitimate community and a modern, effective form of spirituality. What does this sound like? It's an accusation that I've had before, which is that of cult. Of course, I am an occultist, but I'm here and I'm happy to say that cult is a four-letter word, a smear against communities. You'll find any community online that grows is going to be widely despised, if not accused of being a cult. Why is this? Because as the aeon has shifted, as culture has become weaker and weaker, monoculture, weaker and weaker, it must viciously attack all alternative cultures. And this is why a scapegoat like Charles Manson was ideal when in the 1960s alternative subcultures were beginning to actually gain power over the American youth. This was a nightmare to popular culture. Now, what do witches and Puriteens have to do with this? Well, we need only take a look at the internet and at the youth of today and the upbringing of children online. We have two definitive subsets in that type, where we have perhaps attitudes about sex should be looked at first, where either sex is good and it's easy, and sometimes it's even a little bad. It's like it's gross, it's silly, and that's the witch. The witches might even do sex magic, and I will say it is to some degree a more realistic and libidinally charged practice than the Puritane, who I believe is generally reacting against the excessive pornography that they were raised with online. Their reaction against sort of degenerate sexuality being promoted in media and in porn is to turn it off completely, to say, I'm going to be clean, I'm going to be pure, I'm not. It's a Christian morality without distinct Christianity. And then we look to that middle ground of the degenerates themselves, of the porn addict, incel types. Here's the irony, though. Both are on the same end of a coin. They're two sides of the same coin, which is perverted, disinvested, digitized libido. Both sides are not actually effectively utilizing their libido. They are both casting it off into an inferior space, either into the endless illusions and delusions of internet pornography, entirely unreal. The libido is never put into another body, and really not into their own body. Or, with the Puritane, it's denied entirely, cut off as an entirely immoral thing. The witch, however, the witches, however silly they are interested in utilizing libido, in utilizing their energy. I was watching The Craft last night. Excellent movie with Fairuza Banks. Beautiful girl. But what really matters is that we get a look at the traumatized children that involve themselves in occultism. This is key, because it is solely, I believe, through traumas that people start to wake up. You look at Hellraiser, you look at The Matrix. It's only people who are suffering, who think their lives suck. It starts with resentment, usually. Even philosophy, Nietzsche knew this. And right now in this aeon, we don't really have any supermen who are interested in philosophy out of pure philosophical interest alone. He knew we were all interested in it for unconscious reasons. But you get into magic because your life is fucked up and you want to make it better. Plain and simple. And this is absolutely the character of the teenage witches. It's not just aesthetics. It's not just fantasies and dreams, and it's not mental illness, as you are prone to say. It is ultimately a desire for more, a desire for meaning in the suffering. This is the Superman's instinct, to make meaning out of suffering, to make the suffering have a purpose. We are all suffering in this aeon. We are all in the midst of terrible change and terrible suffering, material and spiritual and mental. And we need to make sense out of it. We need to make it make sense. And we can't do it with what used to work. Christianity led us here. Communism, fascism, every ism, every ideology led us directly to the place that we are. And it's not simply by going back and doing it right that we're going to make things better. We need to absolutely make it new. On the most primordial level, we need to make it new. This doesn't mean throwing out the old. This doesn't mean disregarding the past. It means looking at things that work and don't work, and alchemizing, making it new, transmuting and transforming. And you'll say, oh, this is difficult. I can't think for myself. I don't know how to think. I don't know how to make new ideas, and I don't know how to make people believe them. Well, let me tell you, it is hard work, and that's why we are here. That's why we have the internet. We have the greatest tool for learning, for gaining knowledge, for sharing knowledge. We are in the period best acclimated to create new things, new ideas, new mediums, new technologies. And what do we use it for? We make phones to call people who are in the same house as us, and we make computers to share pornography. We make, video games to pretend that we're killing people. It's all purposeless. It is all to satisfy the most base, vulgar drives. But it was envisioned as something that could actually evolve humanity. And it is evolving humanity. But let us hope that it's not a de-evolution, which is undoubtedly what these most basic internet usages are doing. They are devolving you. Your attention span is lowering. Your intuition is lowering. Your senses are lowering. You are unable to discern truth from fiction, vibe from no vibe. And so you mock the teenage witch, and you lock yourself in the digital chastity belt, and you say, surely I am blessed by God. But the God of the internet, the God of the aeon, would not think so. We need to make it new. We need to accept spirituality as a legitimate way through this problem. And it's a very real problem of nihilism, of meaninglessness. Because tragically, even the old religions have become nihilistic in their late stage of development. Christianity is not, these people who are chaste, are no longer doing it with the purpose of heaven, with the purpose of the absolute good. It is almost satanic in that it is a rebellion against life, a rebellion against the drives. It's chic. It's cool. Believe it or not. I think we're in a period where sex is the least cool thing to most people. Sex has become deeply uncool because nothing is sexy. The internet is not sexy. And so, for people who live online, nothing is sexy. We need to make life sexy. Being a witch is sexy. Doing magic is sexy because it vibes, because it is interested in utilizing and manipulating the vibes of our world. When we are confronted with bad vibes, we don't say no. We don't say no to the vibe. We bring our own vibe. We vibe harder than the bad vibes, because good vibes, I do believe, this might be naive, the good vibes will win. Every time, the good vibes will win. And I say, we all together can make the vibe shift. It's that simple. And as always, remember, memes matter. We have cards. You want a tool to make it new? You want a tool to help you vibe? We have produced a deck of cards that reduces the entire Western esoteric tradition into a set of simple, legible, new symbols. They are very old symbols made new for you. With this deck, I guarantee you will be able to understand the occult, tarot, alchemy, astrology, all to a greater degree than previously imaginable. Pick up symbol, the Gift of Thoth.